The devil's concubines are granted supernatural powers in order for them to collect souls. Where is the worksheet? I need to fill the forms so I can be the devil's concubine. It sounds pretty cool. Dean with Chester, call me Dean. I think I just found my latest obsession. An obsession that I gained during Halloween month, and I got the pleasure to watch it during Halloween season. For the sake of this video, let's pretend that the movie was released in October, Friday the 13th. And if I watched it, you have to hear about it. Because I'm so obsessed with it, and I want you guys to be obsessed with it too. The movie is an Indonesian horror movie called May the Devil Take You. So without further ado, let's get into it. The movie starts off with a man called Lasman performing a satanic ritual with a mysterious woman. The same woman goes on to haunt everyone later on, so keep that in mind. She asks for what's due, which is a wad of cash and a lock of hair. She goes on to swallow the hair and burns the money, and boom, it starts raining cash. Oh, nice love problems. His success skyrockets. We see a flare of newspaper headlines: overnight success, wife dies mysteriously, suspected self-unaliving, marries former actress and has a new family. We see the camera pins to an old scrapbook with the same newspaper headlines we have seen before, except the difference here is that their faces are scratched out. The old scrapbook belongs to his child called Elfie, the child he abandoned as soon as he got his success. 10 years later, Elfie is called by the hospital and they tell her that her father is in a critical condition, so she should come to the hospital. When she gets there, her siblings are already there, and then they go on to see Lasman. Lasman looks horrific. He's in a bad state. In fact, bad is an understatement. Whatever you are picturing, it's not it. It's worse. He looks like he's in a state of decomposition. His body is covered in different shades of purple and black. He has blisters everywhere. The Elfie's siblings could not handle looking at him and seeing him in this condition, so they left the room and Elfie was finally alone with her father. She tells Lasman that she has always wanted to tell him how much she hates him, but looking at him right now, there's really nothing to hate. Before she could go on, the lights cut off. Lasman jolts awake and grabs Elfie's hand for dear life. His eyes pop out of their sockets. He looks terrified, but we don't know what he's terrified of. And that grip is so tight that Elfie ends up having a heart attack and dies. I'm just kidding. Through the curtain, we see a figure of a woman who has long hair, long arms that have claws. When I was watching that, I was like, oh, my sleep paralysis demon. So the woman keeps peeking through the curtain and Elfie is terrified. The woman lunges at her and suddenly disappears. On the other hand, Lasman is still busy mumbling something that we can't hear and Elfie can't hear. And when Elfie thinks she's safe, she catches the woman in her peripheral and starts screaming. That's when the lights. She's trying to get away from Lasman, but Lasman gets out of bed and he starts shaking Elfie. He ends up getting blood on her and his siblings rush into the room because there's obviously a commotion. They're hearing screaming, and her brother Ruben tries to get Lasman off of Elfie, but Lasman ends up falling on top of his girlfriend and he vomits blood into her mouth. It's as gross as it sounds. I would rather you spit water into my mouth than blood. No, in fact, I'd rather you not spit anything in my mouth. So it's the next day. We see Elfie going to her old childhood home to reminisce about old times. The time she was with her mother when her mother was still alive. She's going through photo albums in the house and she hears some noise coming downstairs. She goes downstairs and she hears Miss Lakshmi, which is a stepmother, and also Maya, which is her stepsister. They're busy fighting on the value of the house, like how much is the house going to cost. The house is already too old for it to be pricey on the market. Ruben reminds them that this house belongs to Elfie, so legally they cannot sell the house because it's Elfie's asset. It turns out that Lasman is broke. I wonder why. Elfie comes out from where she was hiding and she confronts them as to what the hell is happening, and a fight ensues which leads to Miss Lakshmi slapping her across the face. Elfie storms off and Elfie goes into a room she has never seen before. When she goes in, she sees a dead rabbit and an old picture of herself. Not creepy at all. And the morons downstairs, they see a sealed basement door. It is sealed with nails and talisman, not one but many talisman. And they thought, oh, let's open the basement door. That could never be me. I'm too black enough to be curious. They unseal it, but before they could really open it, Elfie rushes downstairs and tells them to stop and not open the basement door. But despite her warning, they open the door and something comes out, but they cannot see what came out. The same entity goes to the hospital and finishes Lasman off before it goes back to the house, and it possesses Miss Lakshmi. Now, as a demon that's attacking Maya, Elfie manages to get her off Maya by hitting her with a hammer. And obviously, she's a freaking demon, so that doesn't kill her. So before she leaves, she tells them that success is paid with blood. She goes outside, smashes their car, and then she disappears into the forest. Elfie decides to take Maya to the nearest village so they can get her help because her wound is so bad. She was bitten, so obviously it's bad. So it's raining outside. They are going to the village and they come across the mother having a midnight snack. There's nothing more enticing or mesmerizing than seeing a demon eating a rabbit at night. While Elfie is looking for some sort of a weapon to ward the demon off or maybe fight against the demon with, Maya ends up seeing the old scrapbook, and when she opens it, she sees all of those newspapers we've seen before with their faces scratched out. She starts to panic, thinking that Elfie is behind everything. She must have summoned something to make them pay for, I don't know, for nothing, their existence. She runs into the forest. Upon realizing this, Elfie chases after her. She goes around, but she doesn't find Maya. So she's forced to go back to the house without Maya. When she gets there, she's left with no choice but to confess the truth to Ruben, which leads to a fight. But at the moment, we are dealing with a freaking demon, so the fight really doesn't matter. Elfie and Ruben head to the strange room that Elfie had found earlier on, and it has pictures of her mother and the word sorry written all over it. They flip through and they found a sketch of the woman they had seen before, the one who tried to attack or scare Elfie at the hospital. And when they flip through, they find the talismans that were on the basement door. The same basement door that these idiots opened. Oh no! We found a door that was sealed with talismans and nails. Maybe we shouldn't have opened it. Yeah, sure, Shylock. Tell me something that I don't know. So we're given a little bit of lore. It says that women who give themselves to be concubines of the devil would be granted powers, supernatural powers. So it explains as to why the woman in the beginning was able to perform a satanic ritual. That's because she's the devil's concubine. How the fuck do you and your your daddy devil spend your time together. Besides him telling you to go make deals with greedy people. Meanwhile, in the forest, Maya runs to her demon-possessed mother. A fight ensues and she has no choice but to kill her in a brutal manner. Soaked with blood and traumatized, she heads back to the house and she sees that Ruben and Alfie are getting a little bit closer, and also her little sister Nara seem to be getting along well with Alfie. So she blames Alfie for destroying her entire family. Maya storms into the basement and discovers 5 voodoo dolls. Not weird at all. And each doll represents every member of Lasman's family. And there are 2 dolls that are already dead, which may represent Lakshmi and Lasman. So that's when the devil himself appears in front of Maya, and the devil persuades her into becoming his concubine. And since Maya is still enraged and she's like traumatized, she agrees to be the devil's concubine. And the devil tells her that the only thing he needs from Maya is Nara and Alfie. Maya agrees to do this because clearly she hates Alfie and she doesn't care about Nara, her sister. What the fuck? Bad decisions clearly run in this family. Upstairs, Alfie and Nara are growing weaker and weaker by the second. But Ruben is not affected. Maya finds Alfie alone and she starts psychologically torture her using her biggest weakness, which is her mother and her mother's death, to be specific. And we see the character that kept herself together, calm and collected. We see her break down for the first time. Then Maya tries to convince Ruben to join her in giving the devil Nara and Alfie's soul, but Ruben refuses. Maya tries to kiss Ruben and Ruben panics and slaps her across the face. This makes Maya angry and she takes out Ruben's voodoo doll and she starts snapping it. Just like that, Ruben dies. Maya knocks Alfie and Nara and takes them to the basement. While unconscious, Alfie gets to see what really happened in the basement before Lasman got sick. So what happened is that the mysterious woman we saw in the beginning and also the demon that has been haunting her asked Lasman to give her Alfie's lock of hair. But instead of giving her Alfie's lock of hair, he gave her someone's hair. I don't know who that is, but it was a different person's hair. And when she sniffed the hair and tried biting it, she was like, Lasman, do you think I'm a fool? She started screaming at him, saying that you cannot disobey the devil. You made a deal with the devil and you have to see it through. You don't want to upset the devil himself. In panic, since Lasman doesn't want to sacrifice his dear child, the precious child that he loves so much, he even abandoned that child. That's how much he loves his child. He ends up killing the mysterious woman, and while the mysterious woman is dying, she takes out his hair and swallows it. While swallowing the hair, she puts a curse on Lasman, telling him that his generation is going to die, referring to Alfie and Nara. After the woman has cursed his bloodline and ended up dying, he buries her in the basement and seals the door with talismans and nails. Oh no! Oh yeah, we were right. We shouldn't have opened the door that has talismans. No, don't get me wrong. I love this movie. Love it so much. I love it when people make bad decisions in movies. It gets me excited. She wakes up in the basement. Elfie sees Maya holding her voodoo doll and she starts snapping its hand, and Elfie can feel each bone break. She snaps her foot and she she hears that gut-wrenching, bone-breaking Elfie pleads for Maya's life, like, okay, you hate me, but Nara is your sister. You don't have to get her involved in whatever beef or whatever dislike you have towards me. But Maya doesn't care, okay? She doesn't care. Everyone who associates themselves with Elfie, they're an enemy by association. Seeing that she's not getting through Maya, Elfie starts laughing hysterically as if she's turned into a mad woman. Maya is confused as to why she's laughing. This situation is not funny. Obviously, Elfie is at a disadvantage. So what the fuck is funny? So she gets close to her and asks her, what's funny? What are you laughing at? Why are you laughing? And Elfie tells Maya that you are so pathetic. That's why you even had to make a deal with the devil to even deal with me. But Maya is like, oh my god, this girl is full of shit. Okay, so she backs away. Turns out when Maya was up close to Elfie's face, she managed to steal Maya's voodoo doll. And she shows it to Maya that, hey, I have a voodoo doll, I will see you in hell. And she throws the doll into the fire and Maya starts to combust into flames. Elfie frees Nara thinking that everything is over, but of course it isn't. The demon lady she had seen in the hospital and also in Lasman's dream or subconscious, I don't know, appears through the shadows and attacks Elfie. She fights back and she digs the grave, finds the woman's body. She literally rips her gut open and takes out the hair she had swallowed years ago. She tosses it into the fire and the curse is finally lifted. Then it starts to pour and the grave fills up with water fast. It's more of like the scene in Drag Me to Hell. Yes, it's like that. Just when she's about to give up, she sees small hands reaching out to her and pulls her out. The final shot, we see Elfie and Nara leaving the house. Motherless, sisterless, brotherless, and poor. I guess the devil is generous. Or is he?